I'd like to give a little more context, a little more for you to think about if you watched the reel of the Coffee Talk Journal prompt for today about, do you process or do you ignore the bombshells that you find in your genealogy and military research? So as I said, this morning I was having breakfast and I was just looking for something on the TV that wasn't news or crime dramas to just watch for 30 minutes while I had breakfast. And Finding Your Roots was on. And I don't normally watch those genealogy TV shows, but something said you need to watch this because I was already having some thoughts about a workshop that I'm creating to help people view their research in a different way. And actually I'm using part of that tomorrow with a client in a private facilitation session. So in this program, Gates was working with a man named Lee Daniel, who is a Black man, and he has both Black and white roots on both sides of his family. And they were, the part that I walked in on, they were exploring the slave side. And he asked Lee, how does it feel to know that your surname is the surname of a white slave owner? And he kind of tried to process that for a few seconds. And I know that you can't show everything that happens on a TV show, but it really made me question again, which is something that I've been doing with all of my clients, especially since 2017 when they started showing up asking for healing during military research projects. How do we process that? How do we know what to do with that? There was also a story that had been passed down in Lee's family about, I think it was great-grandparents, it could have been grandparents, but great-grandpa shooting great-grandma. And this story was confirmed to be true. There was more to it. You'll have to watch the episode. But Lee said, I've always had a fear that when my parents fought too much, that my father might kill my mother, or my mother might kill my father, or whatever he was fearing. So we're looking at generational trauma here, okay? So when you discover these things in your genealogy research, my question is, are you just putting it in your family tree and saying, okay, great-grandpa shot great-grandma, he went to jail for a little bit, then he ended up in a mental hospital, and then this is what was happening. And these are the things that I am feeling, or these are the stories that I've heard. Now I've proven or disproven the story. And now where does that fit in with all the fear that I grew up feeling since I heard this story? There's also a lot of unspoken stories, and that was also covered in this episode, where we have silence in the families. And while Gates and Lee pointed out that, the Black man doesn't share it with his Black son, doesn't share it with the Black grandson, and it goes on, but this is for every family. We all have silence. We all have secrets and lies that have been told that still affect us, whether they're spoken or not. The energy is still there, and especially the children are picking it up, and they're developing their own fears and their own phobias and their own issues, anxieties around all the stuff that's unspoken and hidden from them. So, are you processing this? How are you processing this? Now, one of the ways that we can process some of this is through writing. So if you are interested in exploring that, whether you have been writing for a long time or you're thinking about getting started, or you just want a brand new way to view your genealogy and military research and your own personal history, go to the link in the bio and sign up for the free workshop next week, Healing Your Roots. It's going to be about an hour and a half long, and we are going to work through several exercises to help you look at some of what's going on in your family tree. It's a free workshop. There are 3 dates, 3 times that you can register for. Grab a friend, join together, because it's much more fun when we're with friends. Another way that we can do this is through private facilitation with someone who understands how to do the genealogy and military research. I've spent more than 30 years doing research, and the last 12 focused on military, World War I to Vietnam, studying collective and personal trauma, intergenerational trauma, grief and loss, which a lot of people don't realize. We pick up those energies just by doing the research because we haven't been taught how to process it or how to shield ourselves from it. So if you're interested in doing some private work, I do offer private facilitation coaching sessions where we can work through some of what is showing up in your research. We have a lot of different tools to help you do that. It isn't just sitting and talking. So, my invitation for you today and through the weekend is to look at what has shown up in your research that was kind of a bombshell or completely shocking, completely unexpected, and what did you do with it? Did you just stick it in the family tree and move on? Is it still kind of lingering in your reality? Is something that keeps showing up saying, really, you need to look at me and face this? Or have you already faced it? I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Please share with us, or you can send me a private message if you don't want the whole world to read it. And again, go to the link in the bio and sign up for your free workshop for next week. And let's start writing and processing what has happened in our family trees. Bye.